turn like a fire in a blaze. Gotta burn it down. Can't be afraid to leave this out. We got this far, don't know how. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we gonna let it away. Tonight we gonna let it away. Tonight we gonna let it away. Just like the sunrise, we gonna let it away. 'Just like a spark that's breaking out. Can't make a stop, can't turn back now. We know that there's no room for doubt. No, we can't turn back now. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we gonna let it away. Tonight we gonna let it away. Tonight we gonna let it away. Just like the sunrise, we gonna let it away.
5 seconds remaining. Virtus Pro's turn to ban. Dire Team ban. Virtus Pro's turn to ban. Ten seconds remaining. Dire Team ban.
Ya gini.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Virtus Pro's turn to pick.
Alright, steady, Bombi B.
Dire Team pick.
Omni Knight.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Are back. That is the end of our preview. It's time to get into it. Virtus Pro versus Tundra. Winner bracket final. One of these teams goes all the way on to play in our final match tomorrow on Championship Sunday. The other
team
will drop to the lower bracket. I'm Kyle, your host. One of the easier jobs in esports. Joined by two of my panelists, Effie and Sheever. Now, I'd let you guys analyze this draft, but I think I'm going to take it myself. Night Stalker coming right off the bat.
What a downgrade of
Did not raise your hand.
She actually did.
Remaining.
She just started talking straight away as she did.
Well, that
5
is
seconds.
excellent
5
technique.
seconds
I've taught you well.
Wait, is she back? Yes.
Yes, I am back. Don't worry. But everything Kyle said was 100% correct. And now we're going to hear Kyle some more because he's also now an analyst because we swapped roles. So I have gotten the best of both worlds where I stood silently next to the host, as analysts often do. And now, as a host, I'm going to stand silently next to the analyst, as hosts often do.
Okay.
Bat Rider!
5 seconds
bat.
remaining.
Right off the bat, Tundra Esports go for insane vision with their Bat Rider and Night Stalker combo. Right? Bat Rider has been played to extreme success by 9 before, Kyle, and he just stomps with this hero. With the addition of having a Night Stalker who has not been a conventional first phase hero, I can see them taking over the game.
It is a
momentum.
preemptive counter pick to the Keeper of the Light,
10 seconds
I would imagine.
remaining.
The Night Stalker, you mean?
Sorry,
Or the bat?
It's more of a deterrent, I would say, right? Like they
5
leave it in the
seconds
pool
remaining.
and
True.
they dare them to take it.
It's like roadblocks, you know? You don't have to stop, but it is recommended. Bat Rider Night Stalker, though, it's a really nice way of controlling the vision game, but limited ability to shove waves, so I'd like to make sure Tundra compensate for that later in the draft. It is a little... It's confident
10
to pick
seconds
Bat into
remaining.
a cleanse, though. Like, first pick Omni, you take Bat. It means that you're going to need to...
5 seconds
Probably,
remaining.
like, just... It kind of has to be mid, and it's going to need to have some tempo, because if you play into, like, later game, we saw it in the previous game, Omni's just super effective against the Bat Rider. Like, he fall off hard.
Right, but the idea here is not to play around the lasso. It's more so just dominating side lanes and doing early rotations and just farming stocks really quickly and just trying to play that high tempo game out of Tundra. So the thing is, if they get their pace disrupted, it'll be a bit more difficult because we have seen 9 excel at Bat Rider, right? But we've also seen him have
10
an off game with it
remaining.
after he won with it, right? So teams can respond to
5
the early
seconds
Bat Rider
remaining.
aggression.
They can indeed.
Virtus Pros turn
May
to
I
bat.
just say, you were smiling, so I was waiting for your point, but it's just not.
I'm just enjoying myself.
Okay, so I have to say, I didn't have time to say it. 9, an Earth Spirit fan. That's great. He's a man of culture. He said he would
10
play
seconds
Earth Spirit
remaining.
forever if he could. My respect levels for that player
5 seconds
have gone
remaining.
up. Dare I say,
Could they even have gone up higher already? This is insane.
dare I say over 9,000?
Okay. That's taking it.
I'm sorry. Shoot.
That's just... I'm the one making the stupid puns.
I taught her about the importance of analogies. That was
Well, I enjoyed
like when in
it.
doubt. Specifically,
I'll enjoy
I will
it.
say, like, I respect that she's following the manual because the ideal time to make nonsensical commentary is actually during the second ban phase.
Yeah, but I still want to talk about this though, because we know this bat is flex. We know first pick was for VP and Dyer for Tundra, so we don't actually know who chose what. It frustrates me to bits at the moment, and I want to know if
10
we
seconds
are
remaining.
thinking Night Stalker could be played in anything other than a 3 position, because
5
there were other
seconds,
teams that
5
has played it as a
seconds
position 1
It
even.
100% could be Fada's hero. It kind
Okay.
of fits his archetype,
Dire
right?
team
In this tanky 5-position melee hero, run around, possibly die, but I think it's actually more likely 3-3 or snaking. I think
Yep.
it's better suited to the off lane. The gyrocopter from VP is interesting. I think this is the right way to play first pick, where you take your carry and immediately get rid of 3
10
enemy carry
seconds
matchups. So
remaining.
it's tough to... You basically, you have to take like your game
5
winner
seconds
and then
remaining.
ban counters rather than saving it for later, because if you pick it second phase or final phase, like Tundra still would have that opportunity to respond because they're second pick. So I think covering it after an early selection is the way to go. And it's nice synergy. You know, this is some pretty sick team fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I would agree with that, but also of all the carries you could pick in your first phase, Gyro is one of the best because he is pretty strong throughout all stages of the game and has a strong laning phase. So you never have to be too concerned about counter picks to him, right? He does have susceptibility to dying by early aggression, but so does every carry, really. So in terms of just picking a safe and sturdy, why are you smiling?
Sorry, so
God.
I wanted to tweet it. I couldn't find a still image, but when Effie and T-Gov were up here together, dressed as they are, I keep thinking of, if you ever watched the original Mummy, okay?
Yes, I did.
I can't remember the names of the characters, but like the brother and sister, right? The love interest of Brendan Fraser and her brother, right?
Sure.
Legitimately look exactly like it's just, that's all I can pick now. And
It's just constantly keeping you smiling.
I have to keep not look because the guy, he wore shorts in the movie.
Okay.
And she wore the pants and a hat. It was just,
anyway. Wow. Shorts and pants and hat. The criteria.
And I'm
very high.
I'm kind of like a modern Brendan Fraser, you know?
Okay.
Whoa,
no.
Have you seen what he looks like now? I think I'm a pretty...
yes. Have you seen what he looked like when he did the movie? Was about your age? Definitely
Was
not
he really?
the modern. Yes. Also, that's a key pro of the line.
Right. So,
go for it, Effie. Thank you.
Okay, let me take this. I cannot believe that this hero made it to second phase. That is ridiculous.
Maybe VP just want to play against it, right? They don't want to take it into the NS. But in this case, it's like, yeah, the blast heals at daytime, but I don't think that's really why you're picking this Coddle. And in it, we've talked about it in the previous game, like this hero with Batrider, they're made for each other. You shove the lanes, Bat has easy bots, you push waves to provide vision advantage for your Bat. Just sick here. And it's really nice with the Night Stalker. I actually don't think this will be 9-0 because if you put Coddle with NS bottom, what's your biggest weakness as Night Stalker? Early 5 minutes, right? You don't have any tools to really help you in the lane. So now you just chill. You kind of play the 4. Coddle blasts the wave, you void the Archer, and chill. Then nighttime happens, you start diving tower.
Yeah, I'll agree that this is pretty much looking like snaking 0 at the moment on Coddle, and I like that a lot more because we talked about this in the last series, but when Coddle is paired up with a Batrider, his job, in my opinion, is to enable the Batrider. And for a Coddle to do so, he can't take up too much of the early game farm priority. So by that I mean he's going to be constantly giving him Chakra, constantly making stacks for him. When Batrider goes to take the stacks, Coddle will go to his lane and just make sure the waves are always pushed out. So that's pretty much how you pair these two heroes together.
And talk about a Mage Slayer game against both Gyro and Leshrac.
Okay.
Super effective. Would not be surprised to see Night Stalker grab it if it is indeed 3-3-0.
Okay, and really quick on the side of VP. On the side of VP, they have picked up Leshrac. So I am zooming out and thinking of the concept of Oracle, Omni Knight, and Leshrac, and it reminds me of Oracle and Leshrac, right? Because Leshrac does insane amounts of damage and loves to run in, but to do that, he needs to be durable. So typically, we've seen him paired up with Oracle almost all of the games that people try to combo Leshrac. So this is an interesting new approach to making the Leshrac tankier.
You know what?
Pairing him with the Omni Knight. We haven't seen it yet, but I like that this is fresh and creative.
Yep.
I agree. I also think that Tundra has just decided, you know what, snaking and 33. Why don't you clone yourself a couple times and we'll just have you play all the heroes? What's this Tidehunter doing there? Because it ruins our theory that Night Stalker was going to be the 33 hero.
This could still be a 5 Tide.
Or a 5 Night Stalker.
5 Night Stalker.
That's true.
Yeah.
I agree. It's a good point Effie makes because that's really the missing link. It's important for Gyro as well. Both Gyro and Lesh, you win when you can run into team fights, and you need healers to do that. A Baden would be ideal as well, but I think Omni just the hero of the patch at the moment. And the GA, super effective. Tundra, I agree with VP in that they're looking for a carry as their last pick, and then they'll kind of determine who's going to play what based on what Virtus Pro we're going to select last here. They need their offlaner, I would think, although it could be Leshrac.
So I think that, no, they need a very durable hero to kind of just run in and start things off for them, because where it is right now in the early stages of the game, neither Lesh nor Gyro can run in comfortably versus Batrider or Night Stalker. So I was going to suggest something like a Mars, but it got banned out.
Yeah.
So they took the Tidehunter for themselves, which actually could be a reason behind picking it too. And I think they're just going to ban out any kind of carry any kind of offlaner that runs in first.
I really like the Kunkka here. So talk about healing. Another form of that is this AoE damage reduction from the rum buff that Kunkka provides. So you're able to survive through the big blast damage of Tundra's lineup. In addition, really great setup for your Lash, for your Gyro, and it's X against Night Stalker and Tide. Like, you need these sorts of spells to kill the heroes, and Night Stalker specifically hates playing against Kunkka, and in theory it should be a pretty nice lane, assuming that one of these strength heroes up top will be melee. Kunkka's a very good laner.
Also, Kunkka can build pipe here, which is just a very value item. They need a hero that's going to build that for them, and Omni Knight cannot be that one. Also, X is a form of long-range catch for heroes like Coddle, because that's something they were lacking. Until Lion gets his Blink Dagger, they don't necessarily have form of initiation. So while Kunkka isn't the cleanest initiator, it's not like he has some blink stun that a lot of other offlaners do. He does have catch in the X, but it's going to be very dependent on how his lane goes and how they choose to take the fights afterwards.
They go for their standard Luna, which, okay, so it is a Fata Night Stalker, and it's the Coddle Tide lane that we expected. So I think both offlaners will have a little bit of trouble, or sorry, some success. I do think VP's lane, bottom, is a lot safer. But Coddle Tide is like an impossible lane to deal with. So probably look at mid, GBK versus 9. This is, not quite superstars, but certainly on the way, these two players, and it's going to be really cool. It's a very skill-based matchup, and I think whoever gets the edge will likely be able to help win his team the game.
Not quite superstars? Do we not think they're superstars?
On who?
There's
GPK and 9, both of them.
They're not quite superstars?
How many superstars? Like, I consider there's only like 2 or 3 superstars at a time.
Well, I will say that they're the 2 strongest mids of this tournament.
Yes.
If you want to compare them on an international scale with all the teams, I guess, right? But it's up to debate.
Depends on how high. Like, are you doing top 10 for the superstars?
There's like at most 3 superstars.
Speaking of superstars, none of these heroes are superstars.
No, Kunkka especially hasn't had the most success.
Sorry. Okay, no, really quick, what I wanted to say is the Kunkka Lion lane seems a lot stronger than this Night Stalker Luna lane. That's my biggest concern.
Mine too. I think Luna's in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, I didn't really get the chance to say that, so Luna's lane seems very weak, but to counter that, this Tide Coddle lane should be strong. So we're going to see how it plays out.
Do we have a favorite?
Depends on which time you fight, because during nighttime, Night Stalker Luna increased night vision range could be very spooky.
Do we have a favorite? One team name, go.
I tried to throw it, but I couldn't throw it correctly. I
team name one.
like Tundra this game.
Virtus Pro.
Okay, well, let's find out who's going to take game on this Upright Finals, and we are finding out together with
Have a little humility.
Ya gini. Ya gini.
Alright, steady Bombi.
Ya gini. Ya gini.
And welcome to this Dota 2 match. Suns fan here with Cinderin. We're going to take this very seriously, as that intro should have illuminated everybody.
I thought you were going to say it should have been a third as long, but production loved it, so they wanted to keep looking at Especially you dressing up for this game. I was very impressed you weren't just wearing a t-shirt that said Phoenix on it.
Yeah, by very impressed, you mean you hounded me to put something else on.
You actually looked very good with the sunglasses on, I have to say.
Thank you, Cinderin. I've been told by many people if I cover up certain aspects of my face, it's improvement all across the board.
Next intro, we're wearing paper bag.
Yeah, that's not too far from the truth. So, Virtus Pro versus Tundra upper bracket finals. The winner goes to the grand finals, and the loser will face off the winner between PSG, LGD, and T1. So, with that in mind, Cinderman, I know we see a Night Stalker here. Sadly, it's not going to be a mid. It's going to be a position 5 Fata Night Stalker.
I feel like that's just as interesting, though.
That's true.
It's such a curveball. Like, this whole Tundra lineup, you know, you have your ideas of what the Night Stalker is going to be doing in the strategy, and this was definitely not where I would have placed it. Everyone's speculating, oh, is it going to be 9? Is it going to be 33? Are they going to try to curveball it with a position 1 Night Stalker for Skitter? And nope, it's a 5. And I don't think VP saw this coming. So we'll see how it all works out when they get to go to their lanes. Night Stalker is a 5. He has decent stats, 5 armor, good damage, has opted to go for the Orb of Venom. And his health isn't too bad either. Regen is even good. So, like, a lot of the base stats are favoring him, but he still has the weakness of being melee. His slow is very bad during daytime.
Boom! Illuminate, but VP does get the bounty rune.
Yep.
So,
2 for 2.
So, aside from the Night Stalker, dude, which lineup are you preferring without the team names affecting your judgment?
I honestly don't have a clear favorite. I think what I was looking at the heroes and I'm like, oh, VP's lineup looks good. And then I see Caudle, and I just think Caudle in this patch is just so stupidly good that that kind of swings it back to even for me.
Position 4 this time.
Right. Is it really ever position 4, though? Let's be honest.
No.
Isn't it always just a 3 or more?
But after that mid performance in the last series, I have to say, that's on another level.
Right.
Hands to yourself.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think both lineups have different strengths. Tundra's lineup is incredibly good at fighting in the first 2 night times, with Luna Night Stalker giving vision for Batrider. And then VP's lineup, I think, gets very strong when it starts getting BKBs. I think that is going to be the downfall of Tundra's strategy here, is when heroes are in BKB, their lineup looks super weak. Like, all you have is Luna's right clicks, and they are spread damage, so she doesn't, like, single target like, say, a Terrorblade or a Sven would. So you have to be very careful with fight selection and with weaving in and out when you have BKBs running.
Yeah.
10 sticks right now, stacks rather.
It won't last. It won't last. It's about to dissipate.
Yeah. Running out.
Yes, we've seen a lot of standout performances from a few different teams, actually, with the Batrider mid. 9 actually being one of those from yesterday, actually. Absolutely dominating. I mean, what's changed in the patch that makes Batrider... I mean, I know he was kind of a flex before. We've seen a mid bunch in the past, but... lately, we have not seen a Batrider mid until this patch.
I think the upgrade to Firefly level 1 really makes a huge difference. It went from 10 DPS to 20. It might not sound like a lot because you're like, oh, hi, that's still not a big number. But when you factor in Sticky Napalm and the fact that that got buffed too, Batrider just has way more formidable laning than before. And it's also opened up for the offlane Batriders that we've been starting to see again, who, to be honest, in the last patch, I think we almost only saw it mid. Nobody really played it offlane except in very specific situations comparatively, at least toward the final, like the tail end of the patch. So if nothing else, the cool thing about this is it opens up more variety. I think it's also possible to start playing Bat 4 again, actually, with this change. It's something I think teams might start experimenting with again. He was a 4 for a while. Could see that come back.
Okay. We're going to see Nightfall playing the Gyrocopter this evening. And this is a hero that, despite having some changes that we thought would be cool with the shard and all, it's not really something that people have been going for, especially considering it's more catered towards support. But there were a lot of changes to Flat Cannon in terms of the cooldown and more talents it's providing. So overall, a buff, I believe, for this hero. Interested to see how he scales into the late game.
Yeah.
I mean, as cool as that 25 talent, the 3 call down, you're still taking the Flat Cannon cooldown.
I saw a post the other day that cracked me up a little bit with the Flat Cannon change. It's kind of like the Apple approach of inventing a problem and then selling you the solution. So Flat Cannon's attack radius went from 1250 to 1k, but then he gets a talent.
So that's equivalent to the Apple charger that you have to buy. I see. Yeah.
That is basically what's happened with Gyro. Overall, though, I'm not sure if he's actually a better carry than before. Like, some of the talents feel good, but at the same time, you used to have a flat damage talent level 10 that you've lost. So that obviously matters a lot to every single carry in the game when you have just flat increase in the primary stat you want to buy. But he definitely still feels good. And I think the most important thing about Gyro is he really fits the flow of the patch in the meta right now with fast fight. Oh, he died to actually a melee creep there, Kingslayer.
Yeah, so that doesn't technically count as first... Wait, does it count as a first blood? I can't remember if they changed this. Not in this patch, but a few patches ago. That was a lot of gold. 271. That had to have been first blood then, I think. Either way, Gyrocopter versus Luna. Luna was obviously one of the 3 carries from the last patch. Apparently still surviving, but we talked about this the other day. The fact that Lucent Beam has been nerfed in terms of the laning makes her a little bit weaker. But again, like, this last patch didn't really decimate any heroes, I want to say. I was expecting definitely more for Luna and Terrorblade specifically, but we're still seeing them. But they definitely don't look as strong as in the prior patch.
Yeah, I think Luna was the single carry that got nerfed the hardest, unless you would consider Brood a carry.
That's true. Brood is like whatever you want it to be, right?
Luna's nerfs were definitely really significant. But
PK
still made it work pretty well.
Yeah, he's just going to TP out.
So much.
Oh my goodness. He's
Look at that. It's so crazy. That's a level 1 Firefly, right? You do that in the last patch, GPK's half health.
Yeah.
It's really, really noticeable in moves like this. And love seeing the aggression from 9. I think this is how you play Batrider against Slash. You look for the stacks and you do go for the dive whenever it's possible, and you play with no fear, basically. And put all that pressure. He even finds a 5-minute bounty rune in the triangle. Nobody went to pick that up, so it gets a little bit of a free refill.
Wow.
And Fata now with Nighttime as Night Stalker. You've got 359 move speed without boots. You know, you're faster than most heroes with boots at this point on Night Stalker. So could see him run it save here, looking for a backstab angle with Skitter getting X-marked. Fata's gonna... Oh, that's a good Earth Spike actually clipping there.
Keeps him at bay for now. Skeeter has to get out just because of the damage from the Kunkka. As you see, the high 5 from Fata will be reciprocated from Save, or will Save just die without being good manners, and he will do just that. Fata, you can tell, very excited with that kill.
You'll be not.
Yeah.
I love
licking his lips.
I love the quick transition to the camera.
Yeah.
As
make sure that the audience knows that this is how pro players are. Dead inside. You get a good kill.
True.
Show no emotion ever.
That's true.
You can celebrate a little bit if you win.
It is a support for an off lane, technically, as we see the replay of 33
so much damage.
Yeah, I mean, Rocket Barrage is still one of those things that you have to fear in lane. As long as there's no creeps next by, no harder.
Lasso available.
Yep, Lasso onto the high ground with Fata here as well. The Void. Looks like it'll connect.
Oh, really good damage, actually.
PK looks like he'll drop either way, though. 9 survives. So yeah, lots of damage.
I want to point out Nightfall's skill build in this lane. He hasn't gone homing missile at all. He's 3-0-3 build on the Gyro. And what led to this kill on the Tide, they're maxing out Flat Cannon so that they can just push out the wave all the time against the Coddle's Illuminate spam. And then he's maxing Barrage aside from that so they get kill potential on Tide. And this bottom lane for Virtus Pro has gone insanely well, in my opinion. Kyle was talking about how this Tide Coddle lane is almost unbeatable, but they've managed to do it. Like I guess overall it's pretty even if you add up the Coddle and Tide's net worth to that of the Omni and Gyro, but I think if you're VP, you're happy to see Gyro well ahead of the curve.
Let me ask you a question. In terms of Coddle, you're on the camp that you think he's very overpowered right now. Is that correct?
He is definitely too good.
That's Splareth with the Pulse Node from GPK. Kingslayer on the backside as well, helping out with the Heavenly Grace, but GPK is going to have to back out. There's too many members of Tundra in the vicinity. Having to reset overall DM. Looks like he'll TP out as well. So what I was getting to is, how important is it to have somebody that play... I'm not saying that Tundra can't play COD, I'm just talking about theoretically. To have a Coddle player, as opposed to somebody that just can play it technically just because it's so good. Hold on to that thought center as we have Mr. 3-3 getting Rocket. The creep is taking a decent amount of damage. It's not going to be enough.
So you mean having an expert?
Yeah.
To speak? I don't think it's that important because I think the key aspect of Coddle right now is very straightforward. Spamming Illuminate doesn't take a lot of practice. The finesse in Coddle historically has been using Recall really well and having a very good understanding of how to use Ignis and Blinding Light, but a lot of this just you know, now his key kit is very straightforward, right? Save. I'm going to run it by Fata here, who's going to stop the chase and try to kill a courier.
Oh, no, not able to get it. And yeah, nice sucker. Still only level 4 right now, so no ult to work with. But there's another lasso here in the mid lane. And yeah, with that Firefly, GPK goes down again. Earthspike not going to be the first save. And Kingslayer just a little bit too late to save his comrade as 9. Looking very healthy. And he is off to an incredible start.
Now they're going to steal their stack.
I mean, it's a small camp stack. Let's put it in perspective, Cinderin, okay?
Need to make things a bit dramatic here.
Holy, what an anchor smash.
Denied!
Wow, can't wait for him to hit level 25 and get the talent, huh?
God, I can't wait for that talent.
Yeah, it's so good.
I'm telling you, it's going to be a mid carry by TI. 9 has the Firefly still. No lasso available, though, this time around. If we see...
You're right, 100% win rate.
11% pick rate. That's not that bad, actually.
1 out of 9. It was probably...
Dire's middle tower.
I guess that's for pubs, not just...
I think you pick that when you've won the game to boost the win rate.
Yeah, and the morale of your team because it's so awesome looking.
Yes,
but
kind of like you with sunglasses.
Thank you. As long as we cover up my eyes.
Bag.
GPK getting surrounded again. Look at that sticky napalm. You can just tell how freaking slow it is to turn around. But there's the Heavenly Grace to dispel it.
It's a truly awful matchup for Lesh. This hero is really dependent on movement and especially turn rate. You need to be able to turn to hit your stun.
Pick pull.
And he's just... just one stack of napalm just ruins the hero. It's so annoying. At the very least for him, he has the Omni Knight covering him that can dispel with the Heavenly Grace, and maybe that can set something up, but you're definitely not seeing the best game out of GPK right now, and I don't think he's played that bad. I just think 9 is exceptionally good at bat, and I think this is a heavily bat-favored matchup in this patch. If you went back to 729, I think the gold might honestly be even at this point between them, but 9 almost pulling 1,000 ahead just off of those aggressive dive kills that he can't find in that previous version of the game.
Yeah, those kills very valuable. I mean, it's like a 900, 800 net worth discrepancy right now. DM getting surrounded. Skeeter has come as well. Eliminate will not connect, but there's the flame break. Back into the high ground he goes, and DM is resigned to his own death. They're going to try to get the kill. I was going to say to Skeeter, but 9 likes his kills.
He does.
I mean, we saw him the other day. Went like 17-0, I believe.
He's gone everything 0 at this point.
Okay. And Nightfall already has the Chrysalis. First item Chrysalis.
Piggy.
Yeah, pig pole usage. We're going to have to make sure that that is a highlight for the later ends of the game. Like when there's a big team fight, we look at that as a highlight.
Oh, smoke broke there. Skeeter. Obviously saw the smoke being popped with the ward they had at the Radiant Triangle.
I mean, despite this, like, Tundra has the lead right now, but Gyrocopter is out-farming everybody.
Yeah. Nightfall's getting very farmed, and of course, when you go for this build, you've seen this build by a couple of pro players where they go 1-1-4 and then max stats. In this game, he has obviously opted for Rocket Barrage for winning the lane against Tide, but has the max flag cannon and the Chrysalis build, so he can farm really effectively in his triangle and try to stay ahead of the Luna. 9 will be finding an opportunity here.
Oh yeah, this is good timing. The Ancients are not quite dead. There's the lasso. Homing missile connects though, snaking from the other side. Next to eliminate off. Fata and company able to clean up Nightfall with ease. Kingslayer just a little bit too late. I'll just be getting chased by Fatu. Nobody wants to high five this man. We'll see if they try to go for the rest of these Ancient stacks. That'll be pretty big. And they get a couple.
It's kind of a cool situation, right? Because what VP are trying to do is to feign this push top so hard that Tundra are like, oh, hang on.
X into boat, incoming for DM. 9. Oh, that was the Tumbler's toy, but not quite enough distance. It's a big finger of death from Save. That's the first charge of the game for him. So a big kill for VP, despite losing their carry.
Yeah, and what VP did before was they were pushing top with multiple heroes, and they kept Omni Knight up there in case Tundra wanted to fight. But Tundra went for the smoke on Gyro. If Gyro's protected by Omni, the kill doesn't happen, right?
Oh, Split Earth from the other side. GPK coming from above. Beautifully done. So Fata drops to his death. Fortifications pop with a Diabolic Edict.
Ravage is ready. By the way, this is not a good game for 33. He's had some outstanding games on Tide, but he's not in the usual position here.
He doesn't even have Hood yet.
Sitting at 6th on the net worth, and he's only level 7 minute 13.
Compare him to Kunkka, though. It's actually pretty even, but that's not what you're expecting, right?
Blessings upon a loyal warrior.
No, Kunkka's ahead. Okay, but only by 100 gold. I guess it's marginal.
He's ahead by 2 Iron Branches.
Right.
Goodness.
But considering the last couple of games Tundra have had Tide, this is way below their average, especially laning with Coddle. Obviously, Coddle will take quite a bit of the farm, so you are seeing Snake King's net worth way ahead of that of the Lion. And honestly, that's the primary difference in net worth right now. It's the Coddle versus the other support. When you compare the cores, the teams are pretty much neck and neck.
Yeah, of course. They go into this knowing that Coddle's going to get farmed. I think we've established there's kind of no way to disrupt it. I mean, you can disrupt it, but you can't stop it completely, right? What would you consider the best carry in the game to go against a Coddle?
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Because I feel like one of the carries that would have, in theory, been good is just not good in this patch is Spectre to get on top.
Spectre is very good. I don't know how bad she is in reality.
I think we've yet to see her.
Weaver should be pretty good.
Okay.
Slark, Phantom Lancer.
What about Gyro?
In theory, PA should also be very good when she gets enough items. Like the burst is just overwhelming, and she does a lot of the damage from range, so it's harder to use Blinding Light. But Gyro, I wouldn't put in the category of very good against Coddle.
Dire's bottom tower is
in terms of their catch, obviously X marks if they can get in distance. I assume he's going to go for Blink Dagger at some point. We've seen him do that time and time again, but every game is a little bit different for the Kunkka. But Lion, Blink Dagger is always a thing. Just thinking of the ways that they can catch the Coddle in the back.
Yeah. X mark setting up.
Yeah,
but Bat is there.
That's a big boat incoming. It's a shark on top of Fada, but looks like Save is going to be the one to get ganked here. DM now on the run, has a Soulbind applied, and yeah, that ain't happening. So 2 deaths, Tundra, great rotation overall.
Yeah, they bring the numbers, and at the same time, they just TP Fata top. Nightstalker, honestly, you know, his wave clear is pretty awful, especially as a support. But what Nightstalker can do is he can act like a pseudo-defender of this top tier 2 tower because he's relatively difficult to kill. He can always just pull the creeps away, especially at nighttime. You just avoid the wave and run, pull the creeps. And if they do dive you have some counterplay potential with the silence and just flying over trees. So kind of an interesting idea to use Fata as a pseudo wall, kind of. And if he dies, he's a 5, right? It's like, okay, you know, as long as my cores are farming. Yeah. Curious to see what he goes after the Solar Crest. I think it's a very straightforward item to build and support an S, but after that, I feel like there's just so many different choices. It's very game specific, but Solar definitely the stable choice. The hero wants the mana regen, the armor feels good to have, and then obviously cast it on your Luna. Make her a lot stronger in this matchup.
33 in the mid lane, but you can see this smoke from VP trying to traverse their way into the triangle as Skeeter is going for these stacks currently, but 33, like we talked about, is in the vicinity with the Ravage, so they're going to rethink it and back up completely.
Yeah, I think they primarily smoke there to place this ward. The problem is, if you're smoking in there with just Leshrac Lion, and there's any sort of defense mounted by Tundra, you both just die. So when the smoke broke on Lion, they just gave that up immediately and didn't pursue anything. In many ways, a pretty high risk play. The other heroes from their lineup weren't really in connection range. They're showing, I think they were showing the Kunkka bottom. So perhaps that was the idea, you know, at some point when you get to this level, you're trying to mind game your opponents, right? And you're like, okay, if we're showing here and here, maybe they don't have the defense ready and Luna could be there alone. And then your Lesh Lion suddenly can kill the Luna if she's farming Triangle on her own. What was not the case.
Actually himself, just juking Fata a little bit there.
Noped out of that pretty quickly.
But as the game goes on, Tundra is just expanding their lead here. Luna obviously very good at taking out Ancient. I mean, Gyro's not bad at all, but the stacks just haven't been as robust, if you will.
Radiant are scanning.
As now Gyro does have his Aghanim Scepter, so we'll get that side gunner. So we'll see how that... I mean, what's up with the Chrysalis, by the way? I've been seeing this a lot as first item and just casual. Something changed with Chrysalis in this last patch?
No, this was also... Oh, hang on.
33
is in big trouble. Yeah, he's super dead.
Back he comes, gets off the Ravage. Doesn't really disrupt the combo, though. Both does connect along with the Torrent. Eventually brought down, but it creates enough space for Tundra to get back into the fray. There's the lasso. It's on to save the support Lion. Can barely turn around thanks to that sticky napalm. So ends up being a 1-for-1 as the chase continues. Tundra. 9 has to be a little bit careful, a little bit low HP, but GPK even lower. And every time Fata puts up his hand, it means that you are on the receiving end of a butt whooping for sure. Nightfall. Oh, the Illuminate from the side. 4-for-1. The only remaining member is DM. But no more chase available. Although the 7 sticky napalms are still there from afar. And that's going to be a double kill for 9 and a full team wipe for Tundra.
Is under attack.
Yeah, they do get the tide kill, but it's so many resources spent, and he still got off the Ravage and set up. And, you know, in these fights, when when Batrider doesn't get solved, it's just...
Impact move is the high five. I'm surprised they even have that icon to work with. That's great.
I'm waiting for it.
I wonder if Fata, can you bind that, or do you have to actually click it?
It has a hotkey. It's Control 5, I think.
Oh, okay. So it's not that difficult. Boom!
There it is.
Oh my goodness.
Immediate kill from that high five.
Yeah.
Gets the double.
It's happened every time.
And look at him surviving too.
Yeah.
Just getting that little bit of a health boost from the high five keeps him alive there.
Good remake.
8K lead.
Yeah, 8K. I mean, again, they were slowly building their lead up to 4K, and then one fight they've doubled it.
Yeah. It's looking really good. Honestly, the Batrider Night Stalker combination is super cool to see in play. You get so much vision from the NS, and the Batrider can just play the outskirts of the fight perfectly. Just keeps flying around, sticking napalm stacking, and you'd imagine 9, now that he buys the shard and has his level 15 talent, things are only going to get way, way, way worse for the Radiant. Virtus Pro are going to be on the receiving end of so insanely much magic damage that honestly, I don't think the pipe cuts it anymore. You need to start getting the BKBs that we talked about earlier.
9 from the other side with that BKB, just using that Firefly to a high degree. Doesn't even have his last. It just comes off cooldown now. And this fight's looking pretty good for Tundra, although Gyro dies right away. A 2-for-1 to start things out. The Yule's keeping the Lesh alive a little bit longer, but Lucent Beam into another flame break to the low ground. GPK knows he can't go anywhere. Yeah, 9 is completely dominating this game. Save, trying to turn around to get the Impale, gets it, but only hits 1. And again, burned down by 9. DM, the last remaining member.
Radiant's
I was
middle
about to say, I'm
tower
not sure
is
9
under
is done
attack.
yet, but he actually has Flame Break on cooldown. He still didn't get the shard, so only has that 1 use.
Oh, he's
I mean, he's thinking about it.
Yeah, we've been seeing some ballsy play from every Batrider player this tournament, but 10K net worth. Again, VP has not lost a single game this tournament. So
They also haven't picked Kunkka until now.
Okay, so correlation is definitely there.
I think Kunkka's win rate is negative.
All right, well, that's one of those...
Radiant
What's that
are
saying?
scanning.
Immovable object meets an unstoppable
Roshan
force.
is into the
Yep.
dire.
So I guess Kunkka
is
wins.
stronger than both.
Yeah,
He is the end-all, be-all.
that's pretty sad. But Aegis now...
Maybe he'll get 4 buffs for TI then.
That's true. Okay, how would you buff him then? What's he need?
I think he needs to have terrain pathing when he's walking in webs.
In webs?
Yes.
So it's only
Give him
only
spin
works
web.
with Brood.
Yeah, give him spin web and maybe spawn spiderlings and some more damage in lane, and he'll be a first pick in no time. Don't you worry.
Hopefully Valve is watching. They might need to change the theme a bit.
Maybe you could make torrent channeling for 3 seconds, and then it does a lot of damage in the line. What do you think?
Sure.
Yeah. I think so.
I wouldn't mind some Kunkka changes. I think the hero is very entertaining to watch.
Sure, I wouldn't mind giving Kunkka literally illuminated.
I don't mind.
Sure, why not?
Give Kunkka everything.
Yeah, okay.
Give him the best ability for each
Just serves
respective
it all.
hero. Skeeter level 18 now has the shard.
Radiant's courier.
Yeah, we can see it. It actually kills the courier, the shard with the Lucent Beam attack. DM being found. Oh, man, the flame break onto the high ground. Man, 9 is on point with these flame breaks. And I do believe, like you said, he does have shard now, right? So the double flame break to work with. King Slayer, nope, no TP for you. Another TP cancel. And Tundra just absolutely rolling right now.
I honestly think in many ways that the Batrider shard might be one of the best in the game. It is incredible. You get 2 charges on a repositioning spell with long range, and it also applies 1 sticky napalm every charge. So if you throw a flame break in the fight and you hit multiple heroes, everyone gets automatically sticky, or the ones who already are just get added +1 too, right?
Yeah.
It's just the damage output. It's kind of hidden in the same way.
Deceivingly good.
Yeah, it's
For sure.
Save is
Yeah, Will-O-Wisp has arrived. So Save is dead.
kind of like we were talking the other day. I think it was Cap and I yesterday were talking about
Radiant's bottom
what's it called?
tower
Burning
is under
Army
attack.
on Clinks.
9 again. Finds DM. He has his shard. That's the tidal wave. Doesn't help him though. He's dead again. Say it again.
I was just saying the thing about Flame Break is all of this passive damage over time that's happening, and a lot of the time when you're observing, you don't necessarily notice it because there's so much going on.
Yeah.
But it's just this constant passive damage that builds up over time, kind of like burning army on Clinks or Venomancer, being in fights, just their presence and putting down their stuff. It just adds up. Batrider, unaccounted for in fights, is a monster.
Yeah.
Nice Flame Break there. He's going to split apart the Omni as well as the Gyro.
Forces out the TP, and Kingslayer was trying to help his teammate, who then TP'd out in the face of him. So
that was a good TP.
It was.
You sell your Omni every day there.
Tier 1 tower taken out, and now it's like bot lane. Does VP want to try something here? They do. The instant Hex from Save, and Will-O-Wisp is up yet again. Splitter connects though. This will be a huge kill onto 9, but he makes it to the other side and looks like he's good to go. Yule Scepter sets this up, and VP looked like they had everything in the bag there for at least a little bit of a gank. Get nothing out of it.
Yeah, it's just 9 is just too farmed at this point for them to two-man him. He has way too much health, 2.2k right now. With any backup there, obviously the Coddle Illuminate with a little bit of a heal and the Blinding Light to save him. But he had to be fully alone there without TP support for that kill to work. But VP are just getting desperate, right? They're trying to find whatever they can, and they're just getting out-pushed and out-fought. Non-stop Ravage available here.
33. Looks like he's posturing. Okay, there. He wanted to wait for the Will-O-Wisps. Great combination, and the Illuminate deletes most of VP, and DM with the Eclipse still going on him will drop as well. Double kill for Skeeter. This is looking like a walk in the park. This was not what I was expecting. Regardless of what the lineups are, I thought VP were unstoppable in this tournament, and they are getting shellacked.
Yeah. But you know what's more unstoppable than VP?
Under attack.
Kunkka.
He is, well, he's more stoppable than VP is unstoppable.
He is, what would the equivalent? He's like a black hole in the literal sense.
He's
just sucked everything in.
He's just a big loser. Not that guy, Kunkka.
That's a black hole right there. Oh my, Skeeter from afar. Good to go. So back up to an 18k net worth lead. Only 30 seconds left on the Aegis, so see how disciplined Tundra are. I mean, they are playing one of the best. I would put VP as the top 3 team in the entire world, personally. I don't know how you'd rate them, but
they still need to show that on LAN.
So you would not put them top 3?
Not until they've had top placement on LAN. No.
By top placement, you mean number 1?
Top 3, at least.
They got second at the last ESL One.
Was that a LAN?
After they were up 2-0.
That wasn't a LAN.
No, technically not.
At the major, they got 7th, 8th.
There's only been 2 LANs this entire year, so that's a little unfair, I think.
Well,
DM Xing himself back into danger. 9 and Skeeter. We're just waiting for him.
Fata with the stutter step. Didn't go for the high 5 there.
Yeah,
maybe it was on cooldown, or he needs to like charge it up from attacking, and since he wasn't hitting anything, his hand wasn't really warmed up.
That's true. That's where macros really come in, like having just a dedicated key without having to hit multiple ones.
Why does Illuminate heal during nighttime?
It's a fake nighttime. Yes. Is that why? That's why. Oh, all right. Instant dispel. So no more lasso. Will-O-Wisp is kind of wasted. And with that, I believe Tundra are trying to reset here, but they put DM back into a horrendous position. Man, he has been having a very rough game. Oh, gets off the tidal wave, though, with the finger of death. It's going to be enough to take out Luna. No more Aegis for you. Big kill for VP. See how much they can actually capitalize with this as Nightfall takes out Snake King. So that's a double kill for Mr. Gyro himself.
Took advantage of the fact that they countered the lasso immediately with Heavenly Grace, and Ravage was on cooldown. I mean, Tundra obviously feeling themselves. They're super far ahead, but thinking twice about it, maybe you don't push that high ground for that wave. If you wait one more wave and then go, you have the Ravage, and you probably win the game there. But give it a little bit of a finger to VP here. They're not going to take the whole hand because Fata is bottom, so they can't get that yet.
Okay, that did not sound right. That really didn't sound good coming out of your mouth, but we're seeing the replay here.
You see here, so Lasso's already used, they don't have Ravage, and they get this good repositioning with the tidal wave. Easy grab on Skitter, and the fight's over here. You're bad without Lasso and no Ravage, you can't fight back. So I think good call from Tundra to cut their losses.
All right, I have a question for you, and I don't want this to sound disrespectful for Tundra, because I actually think they're really good, and I personally think that they should be a TI. Or at least they should have a better chance to get a TI. for VP, they're picking Kunkka, which is objectively considered a bad hero right now. But DM is known for his Kunkka. Like we cast the last time, he was a god. How much is this just feeling pretty comfortable that they will win this series and they're undefeated? Maybe a little cockiness.
I think they're picking the hero that they think is best.
Okay.
There were good cases to be made about Kunkka. Like I'm mainly just memeing, but it's not really because they picked Kunkka that they lost. They've been destroyed all across the map. I don't know what hero DM can play to solve this situation, right? They've just been rolled. It's just funny that Kunkka keeps losing every game.
Stats don't lie. You know?
That's all there is to it. But I don't think he's been a huge liability.
Oh, Tundra. Oh, the silence immediately. Can't even get the Hex off. Poor save. Oh, that is rough stuff. The crippling fear, very strong in situations like that. But the split does connect from GPK. Here comes the boat as well. Nine's in a bit of trouble with Fata's support from the side. But there's the lasso. The tidal wave to the other side. He has to force himself to the right as 33's coming. And he does have Ravage again, waiting for that Will-O-Wisp. Will successfully get it off. Nine is actually going to survive throughout all this. DM tried to TP, but no cigar for you. And across the map, a full team wipe in favor of Tundra, who lose nobody. Yeah, Luna did literally nothing.
I love that. He gets tipped by Fata and we get to see Skitter's reaction. He's just smiling. He's like, I love Dota. I don't need to do damage. Well, he did contribute. He ran around meowing after the kill.
That is, you know, I consider that a morale boost for sure. Yeah. All right, with this tier 3 tower basically dead, we'll see how much they commit to going for this Rax. Keep in mind that they obviously don't have Roshan, or don't have Aegis. Roshan should be up. Actually is up right now. Not sure if they know that.
Decent hold here from VP. Frontlining the gyro with call down and keeping him heavenly graced makes it difficult for Tundra to just go in, even though they're 5-on-3. Because obviously some key cooldowns, no lasso, no ravage, makes it difficult to access the barracks just that time around. But if nothing else, they can just keep farming the map. They've got insane map control. It is natural nighttime now. Never mind, it's day now. It was night.
Okay.
But yeah, during the nighttime, it's so easy to maintain map control with a lineup like theirs when you're ahead with Luna and Nightstock with all the information.
Fear not heresy.
When does he have Dark Ascension again? So 10 seconds for Fata. They could look to make a move. Dark Ascension overlapping here with Lasso being ready. Ravage is 50 seconds away, but you don't necessarily need Ravage if you're fighting out in the open. I think it's more important for the base push. Out in the open, maybe you can get the vision and just grab an easy pick, but BP are playing tight together here. Going to try to attack
the road pit. Nightfall goes.
Tundra very ready here.
Oh yeah, Flame Break already hit him, and back to the high ground. VP obviously one team fight loss away from likely losing this game 1, and Tundra just can't make any big mistakes. Again, you're playing against a very good VP squad who has yet to lose a game, and if you somehow lose this, if you're Tundra, that is like one of the most demoralizing things you can be a part of. Like that just, in theory, would like ruin their chances theoretically for future games in the tournament. Like we've seen that before, teams collapse.
What would be the real life equivalent of losing with a 20k gold leap to Kunkka?
Probably putting money on the market or stock market and just losing it all.
But that's like there's, you know, you should have really, really good odds, right?
Right.
What's something in real life where you would have like super good chances of winning but still lose? And feel horrible about it.
I feel like there's a joke here. I just can't think of it, so no idea.
It's you.
Okay.
Yes.
Thanks, Cinderin.
You're welcome.
That's the joke. All right, into the pit we go, and this could be the last stand for VP. Call down's available. They see the torrent connect onto 33. That Fata jumps in with the crippling fear, but the BKB
he's taking
activated.
A lot of damage.
Absolutely, getting decimated, and it looks like he's going to drop. So 5v4, just like that. Tundra, they do get off the Will-O-Wisp, though. Nightfall pops the BKB, kills the Will-O-Wisp very quickly. Omni Knight dies, but buys back in the game. 32 getting chased with that rocket barrage. It gets the Ravage off just in time with the lasso, and Nightfall goes back to the fountain. GPK with that BKB, and perfect timing again from 9 with that flame break. GPK burning down, but the Heavenly Grace definitely a good thing. 9 jumps back in. GPK will be able to TP back to base. DM though, and say, how is Will-O-Wisp up again? What is this spell, dude? Honestly, yeah, they're just gonna GG out. So Tundra absolutely demolished VP. And their only loss of the entire tournament, Cinderin.
Yep. Tundra looking good. They have a really good understanding of the patch right now, I think. I love the way they open the draft, and I love the way this
Sink to your heart to find you. Open up your eyes till you're blinded by the lies, so you can see what you do. Restless every time we start looking as a lost control. waves cut through me, hypnotized by the sounds I'm breathing in. Hold tight, chemicals collide. Hold tight, hold tight, hold tight. Dripping lights paint the skies, all because of you. Dripping lights paint the skies, only you can make me move.
5 seconds remaining. Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Virtus Pro's turn to ban. Radiant team ban.
Game 2 upper bracket finals coming your way here at ESL One Fall Bootcamp Edition powered by Intel. We got Virtus Pro. Before this series, they were undefeated 12-0, but now Tundra, their opponents, have taken game 1 off of them. And you know what they say, when you poke the bear, the bear gets mad. So let's see how Virtus Pro is going to answer the aggression that came out of Tundra in the first game. We have got Tundra on the Radiant side this time around, and Virtus Pro has chosen second pick when they were given priority. I'm here with Effie and Kyle, and they're going to talk sweet draft things into our ears.
Radiant team.
All right, so VP right off the bat, they do a Pango Pen and a Bat Ban, right? So they target Fado's specialty hero of this patch, and same goes for 9. They just don't want to deal with the aggression that they just dealt with, especially coming out of this 5 and this mid combination, because that's not typically where you expect it from, right? Because if your 5 is an over-aggressive hero like Night Stalker or Pangolier, and you have a hero like that mid, suddenly your threat is in the enemy triangle and not the enemy jungle.
Good point. And
so that's not something we need to see a repeat of here.
And you just go right back to it. I think 9's bat also is just too strong right now. And it certainly gives Tundra way too many avenues to get Skeeter online into the game.
So as we saw from the Night Stalker last game, this could still obviously be a 3 Night Stalker. It does not have to be a 5. It worked out last game, but it doesn't mean that this is what they are confining this hero to. So pretty flexible for a first pick so far. Pridge showed us why this hero is so effective. If they can do something similar like this with a range carry, like perhaps Clinks or a Gyro, it'd be just so strong.
In the previous game, how big of a deal was it that they had Luna and Night Stalker obviously working together nighttime a little bit? Or could you replace Luna with a lot of different carries in that scenario?
I mean, you could technically just for the lane replace her with something like a Gyro or even a Medusa, because her laning phase got nerfed and she's not as potent as she used to be, but Luna's power is in her ability to group up early with her team and provide them with her aura. And makes for a faster 5-man. She can join in fights even without Eclipse. It's
Radiant team ban.
Gets banned in the second phase. So an opener, Night Stalker, Luna. Didn't think I'd see that when I woke up today.
I will say it's a very good hero against Omni. Partially because, while GA is effective, Luna still does a bunch of, and you don't need Eclipse, but later on in the game, it's a significant source of damage that ignores the GA. And in addition, you are pretty effective at going toe-to-toe with Gyrocopter. Like, Gyro's damage output is more about controlling, like, the team, right? You're hitting everybody. Whereas Luna is to go toe-to-toe with you. So I think it's a solid matchup. You're also a natural BKB buyer, and of course Gyro, primarily the magic damage dealer until later on into the game.
My concern for Luna this patch after the nerfs was just her loss of Lucent Beam on lane. She lost that extra prowess that made her such a good pick versus things like DK or Timbersaw. And just the overall slight tweaks here and there added up and made her seem that much weaker. But it wasn't that case last game.
5 seconds
If they can pick another snowballing mid with the same lane, in theory they could do essentially the same thing, given that they ban out offlaners and make them stuck on something like a Lost by Kunkka again.
I mean, to be fair, not taking anything away from Skeeter, played solid, but they did win that deciding team fight literally 4-on-5.
Right, so anything could really be here.
And so I think the offlaner for VP is what you'd like to tweak here. I expect that.
Definitely.
Yeah. I on paper love Kunkka, and it makes a lot of sense. And you're like, wow, that's a ton of damage reduction. He gets the pipe early, but it just doesn't maybe it's that it takes too long to like set up your spells. The fact that you have to skill like max Tidebringer
10
just to like
seconds
play
remaining.
Dota, but obviously then your torrent's going to be low level for most of the game.
5
Yeah.
seconds remaining.
I mean, I think the biggest issue with the Kunkka is they just didn't have a real way to take a fight, because look at who he was paired with. He was paired with a Lion, an Omni Knight, and a Leshrac. And a Gyro. There really wasn't anyone to start the fight for them before Lion got his blink. And lo and behold, Tundra never let Lion get to that point where he was comfortable enough. So they absolutely cannot depend on something like that again. The idea there was nice, like we have a long range
Radiant
catch
team
kind of
back.
thing, and there really wasn't much left in the pool, but in practice,
I was about to say, you better get rid of the Void Spirit, because you know that that's something Tundra are very confident with. And I'm pretty excited. Kalo gone as well, Lena gone. So with no Bat Rider as well, expect 9 to play something
10
a bit
seconds
off-brand,
Or
right?
maybe an Earth Spirit, which he very much enjoys.
5
Wouldn't mind. I
seconds
think a
remaining.
Spirit Hero is ideal in this kind of spot, and it's also what they look for 9 to do from the mid lane.
true.
Talk about invading the triangle. I feel like it's with 9's hero. Like
Right.
he gets on and runs at the enemies, and it's cool. I think like the easiest comparison I'd make in terms of his play style is Thompson.
Virtus Pros
And I
turn
looked at
to
Thompson as
ban.
somebody who really kind of engineered that. If you remember his Ember Spirit back at TI, where he would just run at the jungle, you know, not necessarily even going for kills, just being annoying, forcing responses. Feels like 9 is like a deadlier version of that.
actually,
Virtus
same with
Pros
Quinn from
turn
Quincy
to
Crew.
pick.
They play the same way. They
Radiant
don't really
team
take any space from their team. They just make it all and run into jungles early, except their hero pools slightly differ. Well, not slightly, largely differ. But I do enjoy watching players like that. What I wanted to comment on was when you mentioned 9 playing Earth Spirit. I would love to see that again. But the issue with an Earth Spirit
10
triangle
seconds
invasion
remaining.
is that he doesn't really take any sacks, right? Because you had a Night Stalker and a Bat Rider in
5
your triangle
seconds
taking
remaining.
your sacks. It's a little bit different than having an
and-
Earth Spirit who really, like, he'll fight you there, but then what? You'd have to rotate your Luna from the safe lane, and
Yeah.
probably not the ideal hero to
That's a good
pick
point too,
here.
because it's not just 9 being aggressive, right? It's like Tundra's focus on the macro of Dota. 9's hero is always pushing lanes, and I don't know if they really want to push him off of that role. So I would expect him to still be on something that will take care of his own game. Brew is a solid ban here from VP because that's a 3-3 special. And you think about early game team fighting and pushing, like Luna Brew is almost impossible to fight into, especially with the new and improved helm of the Dominator build. Plus Ty Gyro, both very nice targets just to get chucked up in the air.
Okay, so may I just quickly comment that VP picks up the Tidehunter, which is a different hero from last game, but a world of an improvement. Because now with this Tidehunter, they
Radiant
do have a way of responding to aggression and taking fights that they didn't have with the Kunkka. And they ban out Beastmaster and Mars, who are similar heroes to this, but they prioritize the Lena because her matchup versus Luna is just so good over this Tide, and they give it away.
I love this Sigma pick. So already
seconds
you answer
remaining.
Tide in a way because of the BKB. You know, Black Hole obviously can't be cleansed by Kraken Shell,
5
but
seconds
it's also
remaining.
more sources of GA ignoring
Virtus
damage.
Pros
Plus
turn
a
to
big
pick.
spell that isn't reduced by the status resistance that Heavenly Grace gives you. And this is a concept that Fada knows very well because of how much he plays Abaddon. And the answer to this hero is oftentimes spells that aren't removed by shields. So the same logic applies here. And there you go. Doom, one of your go-to Abaddon counters, similar reasons.
10
You now can
seconds
Doom
remaining.
Tide, Doom Omni Knight, Doom Gyro.
Okay, but
Just
yeah, here's
5
my issue right
seconds
now with what they
remaining.
have is that this Luna Doom Enigma draft is so greedy.
a little bit.
It's
It's a lot of meh.
greedy. Doom needs time, Luna needs time, and Enigma needs time. He just doesn't run around and fight people.
Radiant
So
team back.
they are now in a position to be exploited instead of being the ones who do the exploiting like they were last game.
Yep. And,
It's a bit of a concern, really. I understand picking Doom to Doom the Omni Knight, but you really have to make sure you don't get run over.
yeah. And I was at this Wyvern, it could be a core potentially for like
10
GPK. You did
seconds
have a bit of a
remaining.
giggle there, but this, while nerfed, is just an insane hero
5 seconds
in this
remaining.
matchup. Luna hates playing into Wyvern. You get ulted near an ally, you end up killing him. In addition, it's a BKB piercing black hole cancel, which is
Yes.
necessary. Because otherwise you just tell the enemy team, yeah, look, this is a greedy lineup, but you get a BKB, you get one fight, and suddenly Enigma's king. So I like that they have this answer. Would have potentially seen maybe something like Avenge, but I like the Wyvern a bit because it also then leaves it flexible. Tundra have to pick first, and then you can say, okay, do we want to support, or do we want to just put our Wyvern middle?
But this Wyvern is such a reactionary pick to Enigma because really, sure, it's fine versus Luna, but her damage is mixed. It's not great versus Doom. They picked it for one reason alone, which is for Enigma's BKB later. So hopefully it doesn't fight them, right? Because I was hoping they would pick something more aggressive than a Wyvern just to take advantage of Tundra's greed.
It is true. I actually would prefer it as the mid for that reason, because then you have that source of damage and you can use Curse a bit more offensively, because I'm not a big fan of having two defensive supports where both Omni and Wyvern are just purely reactionary.
5 seconds remaining.
So far this tournament, it has been King's Slayer to play both the Wyvern and the Omni Knight as well. He's played a lot of Winter Wyvern this tournament though.
Unfortunately, I don't think we'll be seeing Wyvern Core. Her aggressive spells got over-nerfed, I believe, and she just doesn't do enough damage.
And do you really want to play the Wyvern Core into the man that invented the Wyvern Core? That's a scary situation to be in.
So I like the Kunkka Quap bans actually, because you need a mid hero now that's going to play high-speed Dota and who can benefit from the defensive capabilities of Omni Knight and Wyvern. So Kunkka, for obvious reasons, benefits greatly from Heavenly Strength, mainly being a tanky strength hero, and Queen of Pain because she likes to blink in, she likes to fight, and she's got that save behind her. So this makes sense. Another potential hero could be Leshrac here again. But I'm not sure how they feel about that.
Well, it's really just going to come down. This, again, second pick this time in the hands of Virtus Pro, so they get to wait and see. Tundra will reveal their mid hero, and then you get the chance to counterpick it in the lane. I like the Invoker ban. I think that would have been perfect as a pace setter and something that helps stall out the game. But Tundra certainly needs something for 9 that can get active. Now, I have seen Night Stalkers mid. That would be a really cool curveball. But
turn to pick.
We'll see. It's a really good core in NS game.
Razor.
Like that, it helps abuse vision. Link is the hard counter to Gyro, and it's an early BKB buyer. Like Razor, yeah, sure, you might fall off a bit in the late game, but he's going to buy really fast BKB and then probably that refresher build that we've seen popularized.
So Lesh looks very strong for VP, to be honest. I can't think of a reason why they wouldn't take it unless they want something that perhaps needs less time to farm. But it feels good versus Night Stalker. It feels good versus Razor.
I think Viper might be more their speed, just as a Doom soak
hero as well.
Yeah. And it's just, I feel safer in a way. My concern with Lash would be if you fall, you just become this really easy target. And VP, I think, want a more durable hero to play around. I could see Death Prophet as well, but I just feel like Viper does what a DP does, but better.
Well, I'll have to wait and see. I like this Razor pick for reasons that you mentioned, but also it's something that can partner up with the Night Stalker and try to mimic a similar playstyle of last game. The only issue is I don't know how early we're going to see Enigma and Doom rallying up with their team compared to last game. I still think Tundra's draft is very exploitable if VP find a good last pick.
Yeah, I agree. It has, I like the bones of the Tundra lineup, though, especially considering their first pick. End of the day, they might end up with a weaker lineup, but they'll certainly have win conditions, no matter how this plays out, whatever VP last pick. And looks like it's ready.
Boom. I mean, that's really the only hero you can pick there.
Yep.
It's good, but it does give Tundra, I think, an avenue here, because if you link the Gyro, Doom the Lesh, the damage output for VP is going to disappear. It will be once again Fada on the Night Stalker. But I look to watch this off lane. It's a different style from Tundra. They're not really able to pressure as hard with Enigma Doom, but it's so greedy. If they don't get pressured, these heroes will inevitably become huge forces in the game, and you'll have this 4-core on 3 scenario.
And I'll just elaborate why it's a good Lash game. It's just he has really good individual matchups here, right? So while his Razor lane isn't as strong as Viper, he still doesn't care about his physical damage if he gets linked. And similarly, he can just have his Pulse Nova and Edict on if he gets doomed, and if Night Stalker is running at him, he's still dealing insane amounts of damage. He doesn't care about each of these heroes annoying spells. So that's why I said it looked good here.
And to that point as well, you have these 2 defensive supports now with the Omni Wyvern, so you want a hero that is incredibly high damage, but limited survivability, because you're going to lean on your supports to keep you alive.
I'll go VP for this game.
Yeah? It's enough for game 3. According to Effie, what do you think?
I think Tundra too good.
Tundra too good?
Tundra too good.
Are they gonna 2-0 the Kings? Is Tundra gonna take this series clean and make themselves a grand finalist at this ESL One Fall bootcamp edition? We're gonna find out. We're heading over to a commentary duo of Cinderin and Sunsfan.
Thank you very much, Shiver and company. So, Cinderman, we got the old Tundra versus VP game 2. Very unexpected. I mean, I wouldn't say it's completely out of the blue that Tundra could beat VP in a game by any means, but they made it look like VP had just woken up and not playing very much. Shiver and company. So, Cinderman, we got the old Tundra versus VP game 2. Very unexpected. I mean, I wouldn't say it's completely out of the blue that Tundra could beat VP in a game by any means, but they made it look like VP had just woken up and
I think it's an awesome matchup against both Tide and Omni, and it kind of forced VP's hand to... I think it's an awesome matchup against both Tide and Omni, and it kind of forced VP's hand to pick a support that has a BKB piercing stun, and there's not very many to choose from. There's Wyvern and Warlock, and that's pretty much it. Silencer, maybe. I don't know if he was banned, I didn't notice, but yeah, options kind of limited, and the reason VP have to worry is that once this Enigma, even if it is position 4, if it gets BKB Blink eventually, it counters their entire lineup except this one BKB piercing stun that they have. So a lot of...
So just get a Lincolns as well.
Exactly.
You know? No problem.
You're forcing him to farm another 5k. You know,
it's
4K,
Enigma. He's fine. He's a big farmer. Absolutely no issue. But yeah, it's been a while since we've seen him. Why is that, do you think? I mean, we had a little stretch, I want to say, in the last patch early on where the Eidolons were like crushing in terms of just having it as an offlaner.
Right.
But kind of tapered off a bit for some reason.
The hero got, I think, 1 or 2 nerfs in the last patch at some point and kind of fell off. It's a good question. I think it's one of those heroes that is always difficult to place. I think what needs to happen is either it needs to have really good matchups or the meta needs to reach a stage where the games are slow, right?
Yeah.
And lately, especially, the games have favored a lot of low cooldown heroes that play aggressively and play fast. Enigma obviously doesn't fit that bill at all, but again, specifically because of the Tide Omni-9 matchups, I really like the idea. And I don't think this is something Tundra would just default to picking. They need a good reason, and they felt like the reason was good enough here, and I definitely agree.
Let me ask you a question here.
Okay.
So the only changes to Enigma in this last patch were Midnight Pulse, multiple instances no longer stack, and now the Ags, instead of giving you a free Midnight Pulse on the black hole, is just extra damage essentially. Did they change this because of Atomic War and Ability Draft? What is the actual reason? As we're seeing beautiful highlights of pig pulls in past games. Thank you, production. Right on cue as always. This is the collection of the best plays of the tournament. Go ahead, Sin.
I'm trying to think of reasons why Valve would change anything for custom games in their history.
Let's fix this for custom games, but not fix custom games themselves.
That's kind of how they fixed the Naga quest in Dota Plus, where you need to heal your team with Scepter.
That's true.
They just put it on the shard instead of fixing the quest. So maybe it's like that. I don't know.
That's hilarious. I mean, was there an issue with like Refresher, Black Hole, Aghanim Scepter that was too strong with like 3 Midnight Pulses?
I like, how often did you see an Enigma put Midnight Pulse, Refresh, Midnight Pulse, Black Hole?
I don't know.
It would always be Pulse, ult, Refresh, and do it again. Right? You never double Pulse ultied, especially not at a very high level where this like half second of reaction time makes all the difference. So, I mean, maybe you could do it in some like really odd like combos with Naga Siren or something where the setup is 100% safe.
Right.
Like outside of that, when would that ever happen?
The reason I think they did it is because it just makes it easier to understand. Because it's not like the Midnight Pulse even showed on the Ags. It's like, oh, apparently it's there, but we can't really see it. So it's just actually makes more sense. It's a little bit more creative. Oh, I guess it's not that creative, but the other one was mega not creative either.
Now, the other question is if it is better. Right? If it's buff or nerf. So Midnight Pulse does 7% damage of max health, magical per second. and Black Hole Aghanim Scepter does 5% pure.
Right.
So when you factor in magic resistance, I would say the pure one is better against basically everyone that has a cloak or more, is my guess. And it's worse against heroes that have absolutely nothing.
Slightly worse.
The downside is that you can't amplify it in the same way as you could with, obviously, if you have any sort of negative magic resistance in your lineup, that doesn't benefit it. But Spell Amp will.
Fair enough.
Don't think it's very important, regardless.
Yeah, thank you for talking about something so unimportant for a very long stretch of time.
I'm just being a good friend. I'm humoring your irrelevant ideas and questions.
I do have a lot of irrelevant stuff to talk about, I won't lie. 33 on the Doom here. Been seeing kind of cookie cutter builds so far in this patch, which haven't really been too big of a departure, I guess you could say, from the last one, where you go for the Midas, and obviously the gold isn't as out of control, but seems to have a big impact on the game, and I mean, it makes sense considering Doom is probably the most powerful single target spell in the entire game, as it has been throughout the history for Doom himself.
Yeah.
But GPK versus the 9 Razor. So we've been seeing tons of 9 Bat Rider, and every game he's dominated. Now it's a Razor, a little bit of a different hero. Synderen, what are your thoughts?
I think this isn't so. Like I said before, I really like Tundra's lineup, but I'm a little bit concerned with how they're going to make it work with the playmaking this time around. Right? What playmakers do you have? You have Doom if he has a dagger, but you don't have that Bat Rider Void Spirit kind of mid that, or Coddle even, that 9 has been dominating on. Razor is a very different style of hero. So honestly, that's my biggest concern. I'm sure 9 is going to play it fine, but in terms of the unity of the lineup, the glue is a little bit different. It's going to be slower. It's going to come more down to balling up rather than skirmishing and finding the openings. Realistically speaking, your primary initiator in some way is a 5 Night Stalker, right? Yeah. There isn't, until you get items, nobody else in this game initiates basically ever.
But it is an Enigma in the jungle, so I would assume he's going to prioritize something like that quite a bit. Were you just trying to sing right now?
No, you said Enigma in the jungle. I felt like, you got to pay tribute to that.
Fair enough. VP already with a 1K net worth lead. Where does that come from?
Right.
Just flat out laning advantages. They were doing great in lane. And I think they might have grabbed 1 or 2 more bounty runes as well.
Wow, 5 to 1.
All right, that's where the primary brunt of it is. I didn't think they were that far ahead on bounties, but
they're taking it seriously when they get that many bounty runes this early on, Cinder, and they're mad that they lost. They wanted a perfect run, but it will not be.
They're like, we're mad we lost. If only we had more gold. Let's get more gold this game.
I mean, gold definitely helps, especially when you're playing against a Doom.
Has been killed.
But yeah, Kyle kind of brought it up, but Tundra, it feels like it's a 4-core lineup, more spread out, as Enigma is going to be inevitably a very important aspect of this. It's not like a typical position for this.
Oh my god, 33 is
Dire's
getting
middle
owned.
tower is under attack.
Yeah, he has 5 last hits. I'm guessing those are all devours at this stage.
It's one thing. Sure, you're playing. You had an Enigma that helped you a little bit and then left, right? But he is getting so destroyed in this lane by Gyro Omni. That is crazy, actually. 27 and 22 against 6-0. He even has the ice armor creep, so he has a bit of sustain now. We'll finally get, I think, his first range creep of the laning stage there. Just getting flat out annihilated by Nightfall in this top lane. Very impressive.
I mean, if you were to pick one of the offlaners to get bodied this early, Doom might be one of the better ones, just because you have the gold mechanic with Devour and whatnot. A Snake King is attempting to help.
Depends, because you could look at it from the comeback perspective, but you could also look at it from the perspective of when is Doom ever good when he's not ahead, right? If you're playing comeback on Doom, I feel like the hero is pretty weak. So I would not call him one of the better ones. I think one of the better heroes to fall behind would be someone like Sand King, where eventually you get a blink and then your impact is there. But a Doom that's far behind and eventually gets blink, it's just not the same.
Or maybe a hero that can flash farm with like stacks, like a Bristleback or
something like that could also work.
Okay.
But yeah, Doom's comeback mechanics are very limited. It's hard to find kills when you're not farmed, and like you said, you don't farm fast in the jungle or anything, so kind of constrained.
Just 33, getting homing missiles. 3 members of VP are surrounding him, and this looks to be a very easy kill eventually. See who gets the last hit. They want to give it to Nightfall, but it'll go to save instead. That is first blood, basically a 6-minute first blood. That's much slower than we're used to seeing.
Radiant structures are fortified.
It's great,
Especially when it's a 2v1, right? I mean, that we could mention that. That's part of the reason he's struggling so much is Enigma's in the jungle.
Absolutely. If Enigma was laning with him, he would be doing better, but the overall net worth might have been worse. This is Snake King's way of making sure that he gets the game. He's very integral to the strategy. If you're playing for Enigma and you're just laning with your Doom the whole time, you're going to fall off a cliff when you hit minute 10. So I think this is important to do, and they are aware of what the trade-off is and what it costs here. But yeah, VP off to a much better start this time around for sure. I think getting first blood on Wyvern is actually pretty good. It secures his mana boots and 50 gold. Got to help him ramp up. Allows him to park top and just push the wave when he wants. He's going to have enough mana to do that for a long time, and that Gyro can transition into the jungle, and they can both get level 6. Tundra making their own move bot.
Yep, static link with Skeeter in tow. Doesn't have the Lucent Beam to cancel. Never mind. He does.
I wonder why he TP'd. Had he pre-beamed?
I thought he pre-beamed, but maybe not, because the cooldown is much longer now.
Right.
I'm not sure. Maybe just forcing it out, I suppose. But now you can't TP back, so you have to take the long walk.
Yep. Pretty big loss there for DM.
And of course, he's coming off one of his, probably the worst game I've ever seen, actually. Obviously, the team didn't do well as a whole, but he got completely destroyed in lane as the Kunkka last game. And we're seeing GPK take some stacks, but Fata in the vicinity, knowing that this is being done, leeching a little bit of XP, and getting one creep to boot.
Well played himself. If there's no one to high five, this is the self high five.
The ally chat only.
Yeah.
Yes. Sometimes you just feel a little lonely. You have the night vision. They don't.
I saw T, I think it was yesterday or the day before, he high-fived himself on panel off camera and made sure to say it on broadcast so people knew he did it.
Okay.
Kind of what Fato's doing there with the well played, making sure his teammates know that he liked what he did.
It's good. That's a good effort.
Keep your confidence high.
Absolutely. Up 33. On the other side here, as a Splinter Blast does connect onto Snake King, but I'm going to try to turn this back here. Is Fata looking for that 8-minute rune? But yeah, it is a DD bottle by 9 who's transitioning towards that top lane now. Let's see if we can turn this into a big kill onto the gyrocopter. That is who they would definitely want. Nightfall's actually coming back into it. Oh, Snake King is there as well. And he gets doomed from afar by 33, who just hit level 6. There's a cold embrace, but a lot of magic damage with that Midnight Pulse applied as well. But eventually he will go down.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
And 9 and 33 collapsing, and that brings 33 back into the game, Cinderin. Double kill for him. But who is that spray paint of?
I don't know, but I love the dramatic effect of showing that immediately after the death. Very good editing here.
Yeah.
Double kill for Doom. Worth noting here. This is bringing 33 back into the game. He was very far behind. He's still not top net worth. But will be getting his Midas as a result of this, and might start getting up there. Ravage available.
Is under attack.
Yep. The Malefic, but here comes the homing missile. Snake King is almost certainly dead. Does have Black Hole, but there's no way he's going to waste it here. And no reinforcements coming, so resigned to that death. And again, Fata just continuing to leech here. Gets off the spray paint and steals the creep with Void. Nicely done.
If you know how Fata is in games, sometimes this is such a Fata moment. Like, it's
Blessings upon a loyal
impact play. Oh, that wasn't an impact play. The spray was good though.
Oh wait, did he not actually void it in time?
I can tell you with 100% certainty he's having a blast playing like this. He is having so
It's funny because he was never a support player back in the day, right?
No, he used to play mid.
Yeah, so and off lane. It's funny how he's transitioned and he's still having fun playing Dota. That's great to see. Kingslayer.
I know that's unbelievable for you that you can have fun playing support, but there are dozens of
It is literally unbelievable to me, yes. But that's only for position fight. It's gotten better. 4 is I like 4 now. So as long as you don't buy wards or help your team in any way.
I'm sure you'll play Coddle.
Big pull.
Pretend you're a carry.
Nah, it's not my kind of hero. Skeeter. Actually, I've not played him since Dota 1, believe it or not.
Oh.
Snake King with the Eidolons.
I bet you went MKB Daedalus back then.
No. I think I lied. I actually never played him on Dota 1 either.
You have never played Coddle.
I don't think so.
That is okay. That is actually really fun here.
GPK.
Radiant's middle
Yeah, they're
tower
able to take the
has
tier 1
fallen.
tower with very little resistance. So
scanning.
Virtus Pro.
Yeah,
Now that Doom is coming online again, you can see the lead starting to, the net worth lead, I should say, starting to creep in their favor. Yeah, only 10 seconds slower
Regeneration.
than the average.
Yeah, the double kill top saved his game. Without that, he would be 2 minutes behind or more.
And Nightfall looks like we're going to give up this top tower as Tundra has smoked up there and will likely just get that tower for free.
I wasn't really expecting Snaking to go mech. It is really good against the Dire lineup because they have so much spread damage, so you get the full value out of the heal a lot of the time. But just because of how good the BKB Black Hole is, I thought Snaking might go the fully greedy route. But they are seemingly gearing up for a mid-game timing here. I'm assuming Luna's BKB plus the Mech on Enigma is supposed to line up relatively well with the Doom Blink, and then that's when you start looking toward Roche and maybe some more towers. But they will get their second tower. Interestingly enough, they got the safe lane tower first, which is very unusual. Or rather, the enemy offlane tower.
We have the cart, the TP coming from Mr. Lesh. Nightfall's here as well with the homing missile.
Yeah.
But the Split Earth does not hit.
Half curse just doesn't cut it
in
there.
the vicinity, gets the Malefice off just to slow down GPK as Fata pops his ult. And we'll use it to go back to base.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
No high-fiving that time. Wonder why.
Yep, I wonder why. Oh, Snake King is in a bit of trouble, though. Gets the Eidolons off, but completely surrounded now. I think they've realized that he's been jungling in their jungle this entire time.
Very easy for them there. Obviously, running under the ward makes that no problem. But yeah, something Meki's lineup does very well.
I thought he would go Blink for sure.
Yeah, Blink BKB is... But with like Tundra's team identity and how they're winning their games lately, I think the mech fits very well, but I feel like it's a little bit more all-in to buy the mech here. Just because if you miss that window, that mech is going to become relatively useless compared to what you could have been as a hero. And you're looking at VP's lineups, they're not scared to go and push towers. They just put Heaven's Grace on the Lash. They go Edict the tower, and the only thing that's really going to kill him is actually Black Hole. Because apart from that, they can save him with Wyvern and Omni. They have really good protection. This Wyvern Omni combo is something we saw PSG LGD run yesterday. And today we saw, I believe it was Omni Shadow Demon by T1. So double defensive support along with some very strong frontline cores seems to be a recipe for success right now for a lot of the teams.
Yeah. And GPK going to steal some creeps here. That's going to feel pretty good.
Yeah, that's a real feel good right there.
But we're seeing 9, like, obviously the game is still relatively early. But in every game we've seen him so far, he's gotten up to such a good start and just like dominated from every aspect. He's playing Razor though. It's not the same type of hero. This is like an anti-carry kind of, right?
Yes.
To a degree. And he does scale better than he used to, for sure.
Yeah. For sure. But his primary job in this game is to static link the gyro. And that is always going to work well against Omni lineups, unless if they have enough stun, because yeah, you can GA the gyro, but it doesn't matter if he's not dealing damage. So 9 will rush the BKB here, as you see, with only Windlace Treads as build up, and then he's literally just going to home in on gyro every single fight.
I mean, how are they even initiating right now?
That's what I mean. That's
like, does Doom have a blink yet? No, he's going for BKB. Like, they're just, all they can do is walk in.
Yeah.
Like, Fata is kind of their initiation if his ult is up, but it's not that great. Yeah, it feels like their lineup just can't be truly unlocked until the first Blink Dagger comes out. As GPK showing off the new Yule Scepter, gets off the Split Earth, but wants to back up now as the rest of Tundra have come. Nightfall still working on the Aghanim Scepter for himself. So basically the same build that we saw last time around. There's the ult from Fata, tripling fear.
Very good.
Could be a good kill onto Winter Wyvern if they get him first. That is the big cancel for the Black Hole for sure. Guardian Angel up at 9 gets bursted down, but there is the Doom. But like the panel was talking about, Leshrac not the best Doom target once you have those spells already going. But they will get the consolation in Kingslayer.
That was actually a dream initiation from Fata. I hope we get that in a replay, because that's going to show what he wants to do all game. This is the highest possible impact play for the hero in every single fight. He used Dark Ascension and got on top of both of the defensive supports with the silence. and that opened up for them to doom the Lesh and go in. Like you said, though, he did stay alive just barely and then got saved by Guardian Angel, and then they didn't really have much more in the tank, but the recipe there from Tundra really strong.
I mean, we haven't seen Black Hole yet, right?
No.
Which can't really blame him because everybody's walking in. So I feel like this strat kind of on the...
I'm going to see it here.
On hold right now. So we can get something.
He's hiding here in the corner. Dark Ascension, instant silence, and he's... Notice how he's spacing himself between them all the time. They're both permanently silenced. Now it ends, and there's the instant GA.
Yeah.
If Kingslayer is not in range here to GA the Lesh dies. And Tundra, obviously, we're lacking just a little bit of damage. Skitter shows up late. Not that he was meant to be a part of the play necessarily. But if he's there, that is an awesome fight.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty even game in terms of net worth, but
very even.
Gyro is farming like a maniac right now. Nightfall. And it's only going to get worse once he picks up this Ogre Club. So 100 away from Ags. And on the other side, the Luna. The favorite hero in the last year, it feels like. Mask of Madness, Dragonlance, and going for BKB for Skeeter. Mask of Madness has been kind of like... off and on.
Yeah.
What's the reason for it this game?
The disassemble is just amazing, right? It's a great farming item, and then you can disassemble it into buying Satanic and Butterfly. You see it bought on... I think especially agility carries really gravitate toward this item for that exact reason. There's just not... Like, what agility carries even get played right now? PL doesn't want to buy it for obvious reasons. Spectre, similar story. Although we have even seen Spectre builds with Mask of Madness, actually, in the past. But yeah, a lot of the agility carriers that would usually buy this aren't popular. Void is buying it.
Is he? We've been seeing Maelstrom first for the most part.
I think some games have been Mom into Maelstrom.
Okay.
I think. But yeah, you can make a case for it technically on a lot of carries that want Satanic and Butterfly later, as long as the value of the Mask of Madness is that high. You're seeing it on Sven too. I think what carries think is, okay, I have a natural built-in cleave, therefore I don't need Battle Fury, and I don't need Maelstrom. So Sven, Luna kind of fit the bill, right? They have Glaives and the Great Cleave. Probably the primary reason that those are the two heroes that like it.
We have a 4-man smoke from VP, and I don't know if they're aware that Snake King has his Blink Dagger. Maybe he's been shown on the map already, but it is up and running. And he's on the other side of the tower here.
9 has BKB.
Yeah. That's going to be very helpful. I mean, I don't know how you feel. I feel like the longer this game goes, the better Tundra actually look. As Snake King jumps in. Okay, now they know. Now they definitely know, but bit of a whiff there. GPK gets off the Yules, but there's the BKB for 9. Into the static link. Fata pops that ult onto the high ground. We see the Winter Skirts only on a solo Razor just to bide some time here. But Gyrocopter gets doomed and left all alone. Cold Embrace will not do anything for you. There's the Ravage to come through into the Gush, into the Split Earth as well. GPK trying to finish off 9 from afar, but DM's getting kited by Skeeter, and there's the Black Hole onto 2. They take out Lesh, they take out Tide, and Tundra looking real good. They're going to get a 4th kill here in Kingslayer. Last remaining member is saved, and this looks to be a full team wipe. Give him a high five, for God's sake. For once, somebody connect on a high five with Fata. Please.
He didn't ask for it.
He did.
Oh. Did he?
All right, we're going to need a replay to see that high five that Cinderin missed.
Make sure you show a pig pole in the aftermath. All the fetishists out there.
Yes, the fetishists indeed. So a huge team fight win for Tundra. They lose 0 heroes, and now they get Roche, Cinderin.
Yeah, that was really beautifully executed. Honestly, I wasn't sure how that was going to go for Tundra when 9 was forced to pop BKB out of the Leshrac Yules and then static link him. You would feel like, okay, now Gyro's going to get a fight. He isn't getting linked. But the hero placement of VP was just off. Gyro gets stranded. He doesn't get the protection of Wyvern and Omni. And it's just easy. And again, Fata just flying. And you're going to see the replay here of him
the high five.
Using high five.
There it is. You see? Yeah. You missed it, Cinderin. Admit you're wrong.
I love how you could... I feel like you could hear a black hole outside of this highlight, but somehow this is the real highlight of the fight.
Absolutely. Here's the pig pull from...
oh, that's from last game. Good. Thank you. Thank you very much, production.
Thank you, production.
I was like, wait, how's Dire ahead? But that was last game. So.
But yeah, Tundra looking very good now. And I mean, do you agree with my earlier sentiment that the longer this game goes, just like with 4 cores essentially, VP is going to be in a lot of trouble.
Enigma becomes a true game winner in this game. And I think, was he fortunate enough to find a Philosopher's Stone there? He doesn't take it himself. He's actually giving it to... Who? Why didn't he take that?
Not sure. DM pops the pipe. And 9 gonna link up big time here. Big time reinforcements coming though. The Winter's Curse onto 2. Looks like Snake King's gonna take the brunt of this damage. In fact, his teammate kills him, but it's a 1-for-1 as Tide did end up dying there.
Not bad for VP.
Yeah, position 3 for position 4.
Yeah, but sure. Given how that started, getting a 1-for-1 trade is not too bad. And you had the Luna involved in the gank, so Gyro is farming more, simply because Luna is spending half a minute on this kill. But yeah, VP really needs to sharpen up now. I feel like today they haven't looked as dominant as in some of their other games. And it's obviously also credit to Tundra for playing really well. But you also have this feeling of VP, the lineup in this game, you're missing that that X factor that really just sets things up, right? They're very dependent on specific fighting conditions because their only 2 really reliable setups are Ravage and Curse. You have the Lesh who can run in and duel, but to do that, you have to expose yourself to the counterplay, right? Which is the Black Hole. It is getting doomed. It is Eclipse, Night Stalker. Everyone just counters him when he runs in. You don't have that low commitment Roar or Sand King Stun or something like this coming out of VP, and it's showing. They're struggling strategically with how to access fights into a lineup that, like we talked about, can't really set up either. But
it's true, but they were given time to itemize to be able to do so.
Exactly.
Right?
They're giving time to itemize, and VP are kind of also running into them a little bit. Mid tower's dead.
Yeah, tier 1 finally goes down here. 8-second BKB available for Luna. You can see the production highlighting the Aghanim Scepter being built for the Razor. We'll talk about that in just a moment. As Fata pops his ult with the smoke, he's going to see Nightfall. Everybody else is TPing out. Maybe just wait for Kingslayer to TP away. No, he actually cancels it on his own with the Crippling Fear here, but the homing missile. Looks like it'll hit on the Fata. The 9 coming from the bottom side. Call down is there. GPK on the other side as well. Self-fuels, I believe, as Nightfall attempting to get out. 33 jumps in, gets off the Doom. See if he gets denied, but he's going to die one way or the other. But Cold Embrace keeping him alive a little bit longer. They lose the Razor, actually, in trade for the Omni. In some way, somehow, the Gyro is living through this, but Fata is now there. But there's the Black, or the Midnight Pulse, I should say. And GPK in the trees, getting Lucent Beam now. And 33 and company are just surrounding him completely. They're going to bring him down with ease. So it's a 3-for-1. They do lose the mid-Razor, but you'll take that.
Thanks.
For sure.
Nice play out of save on the Wyvern, but it wasn't enough. The fight was already too far behind. That might have looked like a questionable Doom. 33 doomed a Gyro on like 20% health, but it was actually really important. That could have become a turnaround if he was able to use his abilities there.
Yeah, we talked about this like a couple days ago, I think, where a Doom would go for somebody else thinking that he's gotten the kill. Like, you can't get too greedy, especially when it's the position 1.
So I think here 9 is actually making a kind of crucial mistake there. If you notice, he got Yuled by GPK running in, and I think he had the vision of him because of the Night Stalker. I think he needs to BKB before he gets Yuled. Even though he can just BKB out of it, it gives Gyro the time to create distance and take less damage. So could have maybe gone even better for Tundra than that, I think, if he had BKB'd that a little bit earlier. But yeah, they still got a 3-for-1. It's looking good for them once again.
Yeah, absolutely. But, I mean, if you're looking at VP, what is their game plan? Like, obviously, Gyro, a mega carry. You have the initiation with Gyro. You have technically a couple saves in both Omni and Wyvern, but they have to be in position. And they can't be together because the Crippling Fear has been... It's not only a Crippling Fear, but now the Black Hole with the Blink Dagger you have to worry about as they...
Might need some positioning items. Wyvern has the dagger. He's getting Force Staff, and Omni's also getting Force Staff. So that's going to help. They need solutions for Night Stalker.
Have omniscience.
Force Staff, one of the better items against him, so you can get out of the Crippling Fear, even for just a brief moment. That can be the difference between getting a GA off or not. And the same with Cold Embrace or Curse. So
looks like Snake King did actually take the Philosopher's Stone back after all that.
Yeah, I think he just misclicked or something. That was kind of weird.
Now he has a BKB.
That's a dream item on Enigma. You really want that neutral item just to get that extra gold running, and you don't need any attack damage whatsoever.
Midnight Pulse Radiate. That's a new talent, right?
I don't remember. There's so many talents getting changed. It's hard to keep track of all of them. I think it's at least relatively new. I wonder how big it is.
Well, it's 200 radius bigger.
It was 7. It was it 550 and now it's 750? I guess so.
Okay. Yeah, the pick rates.
That's enormous.
The stats don't have. There's not that many stats on it, so I think it is a new one. But they don't know he has BKB, and this could be a huge reveal. Obviously, we talked about it, but you just got to worry about Wyvern. the only thing.
Nightfall breaking smoke.
Yep, Fata gets the ult off. There's the silence with the crippling fear, but a big ravage onto 2, but Snaking pops the BKB, staying on the outskirts for now. Nine's able to clean up Kingslayer without much effort. Big link onto Nightfall as Kingslayer's BP back in with that. Yeah, that's true. A bit of a whiff on the Eclipse, but they did buy back on Kingslayer, so BP definitely want to fight. But it looks like they'll get nothing out of it.
Yeah.
So a couple cooldowns for Tundra, but a buyback for VP.
Very good disengage. They used Eclipse and it's just not good. And they know Ravage is down, but they still don't want to play with Fate here. They're in a good position. Luna having used BKB, Razor having used BKB and thrown away that ult. Even with Ravage down, you're still at risk. He's just, man, look how much work Nightstalker is doing. Again, he gets in on the Omni. This Ravage, without it, Omni dies on the spot. At least this way they get GA out.
The fact that the crippling fear lingers when you leave, you're saying he's taking advantage of that, going in and out. He's not just staying in range of crippling fear. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's a Nightstalker player right there. Could you do Cinderin?
No.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
It's very complicated. You need to move on them. I am unable.
I mean, the older you get, the more decrepit your muscles become. You know that.
Yeah, I'm reaching a point now where I can't click the mouse anymore.
I mean, the point comes for everybody. So maybe a little bit sooner for you than others. That's okay, though. Nothing to be ashamed of.
You're still great at Valorant at 50, so you...
That's true.
I'm inspired.
I'm Diamond. That's very good.
Yes.
GPK has the Sange Kaya with the Boots of Travel Yules as well. We're going for BKB next. Not too far away from finishing that.
Yeah, he's probably going to sell a null. I think you keep the bottle here. I mean, maybe he wants to go the greedy route and just backpack the bottle for maximum value by having the one null.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about 9. I did want to talk about the Aghanim Scepter, which he picked up. It gives Eye of the Storm 2 strikes and allows it to hit buildings as well. Now, in coupling that with the talents, the 20 talent -1 Eye of the Storm strike interval and +1 Eye of the Storm target, you get 3 faster attacking, and typically you go for, he actually is queuing it up, a refresher, just already discussed. Save is in the trees. Yeah, BKB already popped by 9. He's going to get Winter's Curse, but that means that this could be a free black hole. But the Doom applied to the Gyrocopter, and 9 with all that static link damage, it is going to be a super easy kill on both the Wyvern and Gyro. Now Fata go inside the base. Question is, where is Snaking? We've yet to really see a truly impactful black hole, but they haven't really needed it. Down this tier 2 tower goes.
I'm starting to understand why Tundra is suddenly first picking Nightstalker with how they're using it in this in the current meta and against this team in particular.
Is it worthy of a ban, you think?
It very well could be. Like, it's so fundamentally different from what the other these teams are used to playing against on a support position. If you can get away with these kind of funky heroes in lane, it's funny, right? Look at what's happening to the meta. You have Coddle mid and Nightstalker 5. Like, heroes are starting to assume different roles because as long as you can pull your lanes off, some inherently really powerful core aspects of heroes become incredible on support and vice versa.
It's the way that they got rid of Axe carry, so they had to make up for it.
Yep.
Right? They need to put Coddle back in place, and we need Legion back as carry again, Cinderin.
Again.
There was a brief time when
on G Arena
when he was riding a horse and had a mustache.
Yep, on G Arena.
That's right. Was it G Arena or Garena? I thought it was Garena.
I always called it G.
Oh, okay. I guess you know better than me. You were a professional player, after all.
Did we ever play on G Arena? Barely.
You and me, we didn't know each other.
No. But
I know you're getting old, but.
Why do you have to remind me? I already reminded myself. That was bad enough.
Is this a casual plate mail or is he going for Shivas?
I thought you were going to say this is a casual cast when we start talking about how old we are.
Hey, I'm an old man.
Back in my day.
Yeah, well, I could do that. I mean, I understand how old people get because I've already experienced that. I mean, in this industry, I am an ancient. Nightfall, well, literally, in rank as well. Is Nightfall inside the pit? Roche is already at half health.
Middle tower is under attack.
With the homing missile onto Fata, 9 in the vicinity.
No sorcery.
Plasma field's going to keep them at bay. Have to be careful. The Ravage is online. Obviously, Wyvern on the cliff.
If Fata can find Wyvern, it's a guaranteed black hole.
Yeah.
Fata does not have Blink. He might end up buying it. He has 2k gold saved up right now, so it could be next on the docket for him.
Yeah, I figured that.
I think it would be amazing this game for him to get.
Yeah, absolutely. He's gonna pop his ult. Gets the silence off. On. Yep, there's the Doom. It comes out. Fata's on the high ground, but it doesn't really matter. There's a big black hole on down to 2. Tidehunter's going to take a tumble, and the gyrocopter is getting decimated within this midnight pulse. And GPK, he was the target of the Doom, it looks like, as the double kill comes from 9. Double buyback. Wyvern and Tide still have their ultimates, but they're all alone, Cinder, and they have nothing to do. Fata still looking for this high five. Finally, DM gives them the high five. Congratulations. What that gets you is yet another death, a dieback, in fact, and into the pit they shall go.
And they're making it look so easy. And again, Night Stalker leading the charge. He gets in there, gets on top of the Wyvern. They follow up immediately with their additional team fight. And the one counter to Black Hole didn't get into play. Wyvern was zoned off by NS. They get a full Black Hole on 2 cores. Super easy. You're going to see here. So it's not just Fata, right? Look how fast 33 is to follow through. So he's going to blink and immediately dooms the Wyvern. So they don't need to worry about Curse. And then, there you go. Fight plays itself at this point. The Wyvern is useless. You have so much damage in Midnight Pulse.
Man, look at that. It actually looks like Lesh is doomed because of that cosmetic. The literal cosmetic tricked me. But yeah, that's definitely a good Doom target. Especially when you have the 4 cores. Like, using the Doom on a hero like that, in other games, when you only have 3 cores, maybe not the best.
It shows really good game understanding. They're specifically dooming the one target that stops snaking. They know what the win condition is right now. It's Black Hole.
Yeah.
Good Black Hole just wins it, so they know exactly what to do.
He's a great conductor.
And they do it. Fata tried to drink, but the bottle cap was still on. Made sure to take it off. It is generally
It's really hard being a gamer.
It's generally a requirement.
Can we get a replay?
when you make your real life character and you need to assign your skill points, if you do want to be good at gaming, there are sacrifices to make. You have a finite amount of points you can place.
That's true.
It comes at a cost to be really good at Night Stalker.
That is definitely true. A save getting gone on again. 33 in the area, but looks like he's going to get away with the TP. GPK in the meantime finds a delicious Fata to consume more himself. That's true.
A whole minute.
727 gold to kill the position 5. We're seeing yep, that's a bottle cap on the bottle. And he actually...
slow-mo.
Production, before the game is over, I would like that highlight just one more time in the future. Not yet, though. Save it for a good time now. That is
then a pig pull up.
A clip, a pig pull encore afterwards. We have a 5-man smoke from VP. This could be the last-ditch effort for them as they're down 22,000, 23 now, 1,000 gold. There's the Radish just for the Doom. They just want somebody, and they'll get them.
All right. VP ramping up a little bit. There are buybacks available for these Tundra heroes. Roshan's status is far, far away, so they're not really going to be able to claim any objectives off of this Ravage. Maybe they try bottom tier 2. I feel like pushing the wave down there is going to take so long that Doom is back, to be honest. There's no attack angle currently for VP, but when you're in this game state, you just got to take what you can get, right? And they're going to settle for that for now.
Yeah, 9 does have the refresher, and still 4 levels away from getting the true
he did take this power interval. You're right. I thought he was, despite this, I thought he was still going to take static link duration.
Yeah, we do see some people take that, of course, but I mean, theoretically, this makes sense with this build, obviously. So we'll see how it goes. As
100% win rate.
All right, 92% pick rate.
Wait, 64% win rate. I read it.
Crap. I mean, that's still really good, though.
I think I saw the game that they took the static link duration in this tournament, actually.
So that's why you thought
Razor did it.
Okay. I've definitely seen it a couple times, but...
When you do take the anti-carry approach, you're specifically picking it against Gyro here, you could imagine you would want that talent.
Yeah. But they don't care about no Gyro, that's for sure. Yeah. Refresher now on Snaking, so it doesn't even bother with the Lincolns.
Yeah, so he has Refresher and 9 has Refresher.
Dire's middle tower is under
33, probably going to get it next after all of his other items.
Fata. Ooh, good nice force staff there for Kingslayer. All right, they still have a decent amount of time, minute and a half left on this Aegis. See what they can accomplish. I mean, they could just be happy with controlling the map. They don't technically have to go high ground. Yeah, Shard picked up now for Doom. So that's the old level death plus extra stun for Infernal Blade. And Lesh, of course, if you have played Atomic War, the Split Earth works the same way, in case you're wondering, Cinderin.
Yeah, it's good to know. I'll keep it in mind for when I play it again for once in 3 months.
That is a great high ground defense.
It is.
Used to be a meme, but then they buffed it with 1 extra stun, I think, right? So it became actually really good. I mean, how is our high ground defense? Like, if Tundra wants to go, we have Razor with ridiculous damage to towers now.
Yep.
What does VP have in their arsenal to try to stop something like that?
Mainly the Split Earth. Split Earth, Arctic Burn. Good base defense spells against a single hero hitting. The damage of Arctic Burn is really significant when you don't have to spell, but Save is in major trouble. He's going to try to TP out. He's going to get away.
Yeah.
He made the read that Fato was alone. Oh, that was very close, though. He stayed there just a little bit longer.
I'm not gonna min-max this, but Snake King blinked literally on him. Probably could have blinked earlier to get the Malefice off.
True. Maybe he could have barely landed it from max range.
It was very close, though.
Yeah.
Nightfall.
Has
the...
that's a bad angle. That's a real bad angle.
BKB with 9 popping that refresher, but there's the Winter's Curse. Omni Knight's just going to die to residual effect here. It's 33 and company. All right, Gyro just doesn't live long at all. Nightfall is really struggling.
It's under attack.
Tundra have so much damage.
They have 2 saves, and it's still not enough.
Percentage base damage, the Luna Blade.
Oh, Snake King jumps in with his first black hole, and down goes GPK. 9. Look at the damage to these towers. Then you have Luna with the Moonglaze on top of it. This is looking like a mega GG. 2-0 Tundra.
Yep.
Who would have thunk it, Cinderin?
And it's not just that they're winning. They're actually rolling them. These 2 games were not even close.
Yeah.
And that's honestly scary when you think ahead to the grand finals here. There's a team that needs to... Yep. It's time for another sip. GG. Damn.
All right, I have a request for the panel to please ask Fata about the drinking of that bottle. And you can think of something good, I'm sure. But that was an entertaining 2 games only.
Imagine playing
Tundra.
so well in the game that the only thing we can make fun of with him is the bottle cap. There was like nothing to point. There were no